Get 'em on.
What's up, people of YouTube? This is Prolix Enigma here with another best class setups of Call of Duty Ghosts. And today we are going to be covering the SC-2010. It is one of my preferred weapons. I made a versus video about this in the SA-805, and it's an interesting weapon to use. Based off of how fast it shoots and everything else, you would think one thing of it, but it works out for a different playstyle. It works out for the way that I use it, so I tend to stick to it. Now let's get to the class. The SC-2010 with muzzle brake and red dot. You do not have to have the red dot, but the muzzle brake is almost necessary. But it's a good idea to put a foregrip on there, but again, not necessary. You can run it this way or however you would prefer it. This is what I find the most useful for me in my playstyle. Again, you probably have a different playstyle for me, so you can alter it in whatever which way you please. For a secondary, because normally I run a secondary just because I tend to have bad accuracy, and when I run out of ammo I can switch to my secondary, and sometimes I can kill them still. So the P226 with muzzle brake, it is my favorite pistol in the game. I like the way that the Grok looks, but it's not as good. With my perks being ready up, agility, quick draw, sit rep, and focus. These are not set in stone. You can change them however you want, but I run the similar perks almost every time. And the strike package does not matter either. You can run whatever you want. I just have it set up for this. Now, let's get into the video, and I will show you how I play with this weapon. Okay guys, so here we are. The video will be starting here shortly, and before I start talking about my playstyle, you can use this weapon in several different ways. You can use it defensively, you can use it in a rushy way if you're good with it. I noticed that when I use it, it seems like it bounces a lot. So when I'm shooting this gun, I feel like it has a strong bounce or kick to it, or not necessarily a kick. I mean, it's not like it has a lot of recoil, but you know, it reminds me of the Black Ops 1 AK-47, where if you had a red dot sight on it, it had kick. Like it seemed like the dot bounced up and down. But as you'll see, right off the spawn here, I do this with almost every assault rifle. I go right up to this little spot and I wait. I sit here and I just wait for somebody to show up. And this wasn't a very high killing gameplay, but I felt like I used it because I felt like it showed my playstyle with this weapon. I don't use it to rush up into their spawn as much. I use it to kind of defend a location. Like I use it to defend my spawn. Sit back, kind of wait a little bit, play really, really defensively. As you see, I have not moved 20 feet out of my spawn yet. I'm still really, really touchy about where I'm going, and it's nerve-wracking because when you're playing the game, you want to make sure that you are safe where you're at. You want to make sure that nobody can come up from behind you and everything else. And this right here is where I decided to do a little bit of flanking. I'm like, all right, I'll go over here, I'll flank, I'll see what I can get done, and I'll move forward. So I'm following this guy, and see, normally, if I was using an SMG, or if I was using the Remington, for example, I would have ran right by that guy. I wouldn't even have thought twice. I would have ran by him. I would have tried to get to their spawn before he would have. And that would be because I was trying to get kills. But I knew that with this weapon, I was not going to win as many gunfights if I did that. So I sat back, see, I'm kind of picking my gunfights. And you'll see a few times in this gameplay where I see somebody, but I don't shoot at them right away because I don't have the advantage. I would more than likely miss my shots, they'd turn around and they'd kill me. So it would do me no good at all to fire shots at somebody when I know I'm not going to be able to kill them. That shot right there that I just took was risky, and I shouldn't have taken that shot because I could have easily have missed, he could have turned around, and he could have had the advantage on me. And right here, this was a bad idea for me to do this. I did not know that there was another guy there, but I was playing like I had a Remington or an MTAR. I should have waited a little bit, waited till somebody came around that corner, killed one, and then looked for the other one. And more than likely, I probably would have survived that situation. A lot of people seem to want to rush with almost any gun they get. Call of Duty is a really rushy type of game, no matter how you look at it. Some people say, oh, it helps campers and stuff, and I agree to a certain extent by putting things in the game, like certain things in the game, but based on the fact that you can run like 2 blocks in less than 10 seconds in game, it's a rushy game. They want you to run around, they want you to move, and they think that you can do that with every weapon, and not every weapon is designed to be a rushing gun. Sometimes you have to sit back and you have to pick your gunfights. You have to set up the advantage to your benefit. You have to make the gunfight in your benefit. There is one guy in this match that was really getting on my nerves. Like, oh, he was making me so angry. And this was a really close game, I believe. I think it came down to... I don't even know if we won this game, but I know it was really close. I'm pretty sure we won. I don't usually take gameplays that I don't win in. But Anyways, as you see here, guys, I am not moving. I'm not moving forward. I'm not trying to get to these people because I know there's guys over there, but I'm not pushing forward trying to get to them because if I have to make a run forward, I'm going to get killed. If somebody would have came up over that hill, I would have died instantly. And this right here, what I'm doing is risky too. You never want to do this because, see, and I died. I knew there was going to be somebody over there, not only because none of my teammates were over there, but because that's a spawn point. And I ran around that corner, and I shouldn't have. I should have set up the gunfight knowing somebody was going to come around that corner at some point or another. Or I should have turned around and went the other direction. But I was in a little bit of a pinch because I knew there were people on the other side of me as well as in front of me. So there wasn't a whole lot I could do in that situation, but I tried. So things to go over when you're using the SC-2010. You do not want to rush. You do not want to use equipment. You do not want to use attachments like on your weapon that are going to throw you off. And by that I mean possibly the red dot sight. The reason why I put the red dot sight on there is because it helps me a little bit more than the iron sights. I don't care too much for the iron sights; they're all right, but I use it just because. If it had better iron sights, I would use the iron sights because the red dot bounces a lot. Anything that is related to a sight with this gun is probably not the best idea. If you were going to run anything, it's probably more of a benefit to you if you run a foregrip and a muzzle brake. It will get you farther in game, and more than likely you will win most of your gunfights. Back to the no using sights. So I messed around with thermal sight on this gun and the Remington and the SA-805, and I personally do not like any of the thermal sights on any of them. Like, I liked it on the Remington at first, but then once I started using it more and I had my control freak, it threw my aim off, and I already have not so great accuracy as it is. So it's best if you just don't use a sight. If you have a hard time aiming and you have a hard time killing people and winning your gunfights, it's best if you don't use a thermal sight. Unless it's a sniper rifle, that's a different story. But it's just best not to use that. So this gun is not good for rushing, as you already know. It is not a rushing type weapon. You want to pick your gunfights. You want to set them up like this right here. I'm in a head glitch. I'm waiting for somebody to come up that hill, and same thing over here. You just want to set up your gunfights constantly. You never want to second guess yourself. If you feel like there's somebody there, you want to wait, because Call of Duty has this strange way of messing you up with the timing. You can aim down a hallway for 30 seconds knowing there's somebody there, and the second you turn to look down a different hallway, you'll get shot from the one you were just watching. So again, it all goes back to not second guessing yourself, being defensive, and staying determined with this weapon. It's a very interesting gun to try and use. It's not something that I use too much because I am a more rushy player. Even though I am an AR player, I do like to rush a lot more than I like to sit back and wait. And that's probably strange because the ones who rush more often are SMG players, and my playstyle you would think I was an SMG player, but I use ARs most of the time. So it just goes to show that you can be a rushing player with an AR, but you have to know the right AR. And one of the best ones, which I already have a video about, is the Remington. That is one of the best weapons to rush with. I'm not sure what I was doing right here, but I was probably doing something. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up soon, so I hope you liked it. This is the 4th episode of the best class setups of Call of Duty Ghosts with the SC-2010. And remember, be defensive when you're using this weapon. Make smart choices on your attachments. Make smart choices with your perks. It will all help you in the end. Like and subscribe, please, guys, and leave a comment down below what you think of the class setup and if you will use it and how you would play with it, what type of player you are. And Twitter and Facebook links will be down in the description. I don't know if I already said that or not, but, you know, whatever. And the video you will see on screen shortly is going to be the last video I made, and deuces.
Get 'em all.